last 30 plus years, Touchstone's brand has been friendship in Christ. One of our early discoveries was that Jesus invites us to be his friends, and that he invites us to be friends with one another. And we've spent the last 30 plus years trying to help one another develop that friendship with Christ and develop a deeper set of relationships with a few people that will help us on the journey with all of its ups and downs. This new website is an attempt to respond in a slightly different and wider way to the hunger for people, men and women alike, to build friendships of an authentic nature with God and with one another. And so our website will have resources for personal prayer, resources if you want to lead a retreat, resources if you're providing leadership to a group, more dynamic, interactive materials where we will have podcasts and videos like this one, where we will provide new thoughts about lessons that we're learning about how to listen to God and how to be better friends to one another in Christ.
So probably 18 years, maybe a little more. A gentleman by the name of Bill Smith, who worked in the Kitchener-Waterloo area, invited myself to have lunch with him, and he was looking at establishing a group of people that were interested in going perhaps a little deeper in their faith, or people who called themselves Christians or followers of Christ, but perhaps were wrestling with their faith and how it translates into meaning in the businesses and the work that they did. I feel that I'm part of a very privileged crowd to have been connected to Touchstone. I've been able to plug into a group from which I have benefited from tremendous resources and teachings and guidance that I don't think is readily available for people who are out there, who are on a spiritual journey and a quest to know where to start. And it's just opened up a whole new world of spiritual growth and vibrancy that I don't know where I have plugged into it otherwise. And I think that the richness of the materials that have been developed by Norm Allen and that have been shared with us as his spiritual friend is really quite unique and is very, very broad and deep and hard to get if you're going on your own search.
So I first came in contact with Touchstone through the Holy Land Golf Tour, which is a 4-day golf trip down to North Carolina to play a bunch of golf and have some good conversation. And that was at a time in my life where I was just transitioning into a new role at work and had some increased responsibilities and new leadership happening for me. So I used that weekend to have some really good conversations with people who were of a different generation than me and who had lived all of that stuff before, and carried those conversations on since. And I've found that weekend and those conversations since to be really impactful for me. So I started working at a men's shelter in my early 20s, and that was a very transformative experience for a number of reasons, and trying to live out some of those steps that Jesus took and trying to serve people who at first I thought were really different than me, and then I realized they weren't. Another place sort of where I've come to and where Touchstone has been really transformative and helpful for me is interacting with faith in a way that embraces mystery a little bit more than the way that I grew up understanding faith. So I'm part of a men's group of about 7 or 8 other guys in my rough age bracket. We're all at stages of life where things are changing and people are entering into marriages or having kids, and so there's all these life things happening. And while that's going on, we're asking the question about what does it look like to follow Jesus at the same time. It's been pretty cool to journey with other people and have those conversations and learn from one another.
And so this website is designed to make available to a wider audience of people, to a younger generation of people, the tools that we have been using for the last 30 years that help people on that journey of discovery of their friendship with Christ individually and their friendship in Christ with a few people who will help them on the journey as they go about their life.